Hi everyone, I'm Apollonia Ponti, your dating and relationship coach for you men to go confidently in the direction of what your life deserves and attract that woman of your dreams. And in today's video, we are going to talk about controlling your mindset to stop negative thoughts. This is so common in everybody's world, not just you, the viewer that is watching, in mine, and the person that I meet today, tomorrow. It's everybody, you that is watching this. Our mind is the most active muscle. It never sleeps. It even constantly thinks when we sleep. It's something that creates our dreams. It's something that also creates our creativity. It's something that creates our drive. It has so much power of our lives, and we sometimes forget that. So in this video, I'm going to give you some tips on how to kind of change this, but also how to sort of look at it at a different angle instead of seeing it as a negative thing. Did you know that there's this amazing book called The Happiness Trap by Russ Harris, and it says that 80% of everyone's thoughts contain some sort of negative content. 80%. That is significant, right? I mean, that means that only 20% of our thoughts are positive. Well, here's the thing. It's about what you truly believe at those 80% of negative thoughts. What is it that you truly believe? And that's what we're going to talk about. Because there's no magic potion, there's no magic cure to just cut the ties and disconnect those negative thoughts. But there is when you truly believe those negative thoughts. Because negative thoughts are always going to continue to run our lives sometimes, and we can just get used to them and say, laugh at them and just move on. Or sometimes, to be honest, they give us the best ideas. I mean, let's be honest, look at the business I am in. Not a lot of times is it always positive, it's sometimes negative. And I see things with my clients and sometimes in my personal life and my history of where I've been, and I create content around it. And it was because of a negative experience that ultimately gave me the value, the drive, the mindset to create something to help other people. So the way you change your mindset with these negative thoughts is when you get your mindset to start working for you. Do you see what I just did? And here's the thing, it's not something that you're easily going to be able to just snap your fingers and it's going to be done. It's something that you continuously have to be consciously aware about. And here's what I don't want you to do is when these negative thoughts come up is push them aside and totally ignore them as if they weren't ever existed. But here's what ends up happening. A lot of people will tell you you need to ignore these thoughts and change it into something focused on something positive, and that's it. But at the end of the day, the more that you ignore your negative thoughts, the more that they're going to continue to happen. You have to feel your negative thoughts and bring them to fruition in order for you to heal whatever it is that's coming up for you. We all are in this world to grow, and in this world, if we ignore the fact that our growth is being stunted by our negative thoughts, then it's just going to continue to happen, and then our negative thoughts are going to thrive off of our unhappiness. And when we become happy, another negative thought is going to take into effect, because at the end of the day, it's the ego just coming in, fighting, and he knows he always wins. But you have control over that. So I'm going to give you 3 questions to start diminishing your negative thoughts. When your negative thoughts come into your head, I want you to start having this inner dialogue conversation with yourself. And hey, you can have it with yourself in an open environment if you want to and talk out loud. It doesn't matter, whatever makes you feel better. But there's always 3 questions that I have my clients ask themselves when they continue to have these negative thoughts, especially if they're experiencing a breakup, heartache, or misery because they're single. And the 3 questions are, number 1, is this thought even true? Is it true to who I am? Number 2, is this thought holding me back? And number 3, is this thought even helpful to my environment? When you start to question your own thoughts and answer yourself, you become more clear on why these thoughts continue to happen. So one, what's going to happen is you're going to notice that if this thought continues to happen and these questions that you are asking yourself, you are going to notice something within that needs some personal work. And once you do, that's when it's time to either hire a coach to talk this out with you and or hire a psychiatrist depending on the problem. You might not understand how much a coaching session can be as it's so powerful because sometimes people just need to be heard, and also they need that outside source of advice, someone that doesn't know them, someone that is not attached to them, and someone that has that clarity and also the history of dealing with this stuff. And at the end of the day, when you hear yourself talk out loud to a coach, it could be consciously and subconsciously healing for yourself. Next is label your thoughts. So there is this book, it's a woman, Melissa Ambrosary. She has this book and it's called Inner Mean Girl. And obviously because I'm a woman, I love this book. But she talks a lot about labeling your thoughts. You can call it the inner mean guy. So when you have a negative thought come in, say, I hear you, inner mean guy. Whenever I have a negative thought, I always label it. And the reason why you label it is because you become conscious. You start to take control of your negative thoughts. So whenever I have a negative thought, I say, I hear you, inner mean girl, but you're not winning today. And I go into my question-based things and I see where this doubt is coming from. Maybe because it spiraled from a negative comment that I received. We're all human. We are not perfect. And something always happens. But the more consciously aware you are and you take control, the more control you have on your thoughts and the more in control of your life you feel. So when you become in control of your own life, you become more powerful. So when you become more powerful, these negative thoughts will shift. Next is talk these thoughts out. Just like I said previously, hiring a coach or seeing a psychiatrist or talking to someone that values your truth and is not open to judge you and can only see your true vulnerability. It can be in a meditation practice. It can be in a yoga class. Those teachers that are out there are there to help. And when someone is honestly showing up to be fully present for you and there. Talk out these negative thoughts because the more you hold them in, the more it's going to take control. Next, which is really familiar and which is really popular, is journaling. I have a practice where I've done meditation and I've done all this, but at the end of the day, it's what floats your boat. And journaling is something so powerful, especially for men. I always ask men to start keeping a journal about what it is that they're going through in life or what it is that they're suffering from, what it is that they're trying to heal their heart from. Because when you journal out your emotions, you can look back 2 or 3 days later and see why these emotions were so powerful for you. Because every day is a new day, and that's what's so beautiful about life. It doesn't mean that you're gonna wake up in the same aura or in the same environment of feeling empty inside the next day. Your emotions change as the days progress. And when you are able to journal out your feelings, your thoughts, it can give you a refocus about why these thoughts are coming up. So when they come up again, you know how your thoughts weighed heavily on you and you read back on it when you were in a positive atmosphere. So you have that conscious talk with yourself and know how to battle your thoughts because you wrote this down when you were in a bad place, but then you read it when you were in a good place. And you know the two affect you and you know that they become equal. So when you are back into this negative place and the same thought comes up, your mind says, wow, okay, I remember when I was a positive place and I didn't even think that this was a big deal. So you see how you start to have this different conversations with yourself and you're starting to take control. And lastly, do the interpersonal work and detach yourself from the situation. A lot of times what happens with these negative thoughts is we attach ourselves to the past and we attach ourselves to the future. And this is why it's so common and to get sad, depressed, and anxiety. And I'm not saying this is the reason of it, but it's a common reason of what happens. And when we attach from the negative things that have happened in our future and from our future and our past, we start to attach from all of these outcomes instead of the present moment. And when we detach from our past, it has no weight to us. It's not who we are today because that's what's so beautiful about our present moment. And we have no control of our future. So when you start to control your thoughts of your future, you're really wasting your thoughts and not living in your present moment. If this is something that happens to you today and you need that additional help or support, please feel free to reach out to me and schedule a private one-on-one session. And as always, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to share your comments, concerns, or your feedback below, and I'll personally try my best to respond to each and every one of you. And until next time, I'll see you again in the next video, and remember, you are always loved. Bye for now.